You're listening to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast.
What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, The Hot Commodity Ant C, and we are jumping into our time machines to cover the entire 2 years, and we have made it to October of 1999. We'll be covering No Mercy in a couple of days, but up first, we're covering WWF Raw Is War from October 4th, 1999, and to kick off Raw, we have an elimination match. The tag team champions, the New Age Outlaws, taking on Kane and X-Pac, the Hollies, and the Acolytes. The titles aren't on the line for this one. During the match, the New Age Outlaws and the Hollies, they fight on the floor, and they get counted out. At first, I thought to myself, crap, the Outlaws just lost the titles, but then I realized that they were on the line. Comes down to the Acolytes and Kane and X-Pac. Kane chokeslams Farouk. Bradshaw hits a clothesline from hell to X-Pac, and both Kane and X-Pac, both Kane and Bradshaw have their opponents pinned, but the referee counts Bradshaw's pinfall, so the Acolytes get the victory over X-Pac and Kane. After the match, X-Pac leaves upset. It looks like this is turning into X-Pac turning on Kane, I feel like, but we'll see what happens. We then see footage from WWF Rebellion, which, for those of you who are unaware, Rebellion was a United Kingdom only pay-per-view. It was pretty much a basic house show that they would hear in England. And they show footage from it where the British Bulldog is upset. He's talking to Vince and Shane. He's mad about not having the WWF title shot. He throws a metal trash can and ends up hitting Stephanie McMahon in the face. And Stephanie McMahon is placed on a stretcher. I remember as a kid seeing this, and I always thought it was Ken Shamrock from behind doing it, because Ken Shamrock used to always snap backstage. However, it was the British Bulldog. And the Bulldog comes out, and Bulldog says, Vince, you must be shocked about what happened to Stephanie. It's unfortunate you put her in a position that she could get injured. There are many women in the WWF, and they don't belong here. I came out here to apologize for what happened to Stephanie, because you put her in that spot and cost me my title shot. You turned my own country against me. You screwed up, Vince. All I care about is the WWF title. At No Mercy, I'm going to step in the ring with The Rock, and I'm going to give him no mercy, and we'll beat him. After that, I want to know when I will get my title shot. Chyna comes out, and Chyna says, is that you, big bulldog, barking? Seems you have a problem with women. How about we see if your bite is as bad as your bark? I'll see you tonight. So Chyna challenging the British Bulldog here. Bulldog was playing a really good role here because he is just him coming back from an injury from WCW. He fell on a trapdoor and really badly injured his back. So we knew he probably wasn't going to last long in WWE, but he wanted one last title shot, and he has no remorse for hurting Stephanie, which we all know is going to piss off Vince. I'm glad to see Chyna involved in this because I'm a big Chyna fan. We see The Rock talking, Mankind talking to The Rock backstage, and he's very much apologizing. He's saying, if you want things to be over, it can happen. And The Rock is answering Mankind, but The Rock is on a cell phone, so more silly stuff between The Rock and Mankind. We see Tess out of the medical center, and he says that Stephanie has head trauma and that Stephanie doesn't even recognize him. Man, that must suck if your fiance does not recognize who you are. And it happens to me quite often. Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah attack WWF Women's Champion Ivory backstage and pull off her shirt. I don't know what this fascination is with Moolah and Mae Young. I know they're old women. Why are they creepy old women trying to rip off clothes of Ivory? I don't think we ever find out because they pass away before we get our answer. But we do know that the Fabulous Moolah will take on Ivory at No. Next, Terry Reynolds comes out on commentary, and we have Edge and Christian taking on the New Brood. I don't know why they're not referring to them as the Hardy Boys at this point, since they're not with Gangrel anymore, but they're still coming out of the fire pit. The New Brood is Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. We did find out on SmackDown that Edge and Christian and the New Brood will fight in a best out of 5 series. The winning team gets $100,000 in Terry's managerial services. Edge and Christian got their first victory over on SmackDown. We'll see what happens tonight. This is a very good match with a lot of innovative moves. Jeff lands a swanton bomb to Edge and gets a 2. It's always funny when wrestlers land their finishing maneuvers in the early days when they're first trying them out and the wrestlers kick out of them. Because then when they end up doing them later, you're like, oh shit, that move doesn't really matter. But anyways, it does. Matt goes for a lion salt, but Edge gets his knees up. Edge jumps off of Christian's back and spares a leaping Jeff Hardy, and Edge and Christian get the victory. This move is something that Edge is this spot, the spearing off of a person, off of a ladder, off of the top rope, becomes familiar with Edge. Good tag team action here on SmackDown. We'll see that, here on Raw, we'll see them compete on SmackDown. We see X-Pac and Kane backstage being interviewed. X-Pac challenges the Acolytes to a fatal 4-way elimination match, and he says that he will prove he belongs in the land of the giants. So I don't understand why X-Pac wants to do this. He keeps getting his ass kicked. I know he wants to prove a point to Kane, but why doesn't he just challenge Kane to a match? WWF Champion Triple H comes out to the ring. Triple H says, in 2 weeks, Stone Cold Steve Austin and I will stand face to face one more time. You will see the fire in my eyes like the night I laid your ass out at SummerSlam. You will be lucky to escape without no mercy. I know it's the toughest son of a bitch didn't have the guts to get in the ring with me. JR, come in here and enjoy this interview. The whole broken arm, I'm sorry. It was in the past. Now that I am champion, I am more calm. I promise you, nothing will happen to you. He was referring to breaking Jim Ross's arm back in July. He sets up a chair in the ring for Jim Ross, and Jim gets into the ring, and they watch the video of Austin and Jim Ross hunting, and Austin pretty much tells Jim Ross in the video that he's coming for Triple H. He gets motivated by watching Triple H attack his leg. At No Mercy, Triple H will get his payback. Triple H has pretty bad words for a crippled man. You and the rattlesnake are tight. What do you think Stone Cold Steve Austin thinks of me? Ross says he thinks you're an asshole. Triple H says, me being champion, what do you think of me, JR? And Jim Ross says, I think you're a sorry, low-down son of a bitch. Not smart of Jim Ross. Triple H clotheslines Jim Ross out of the chair and stomps on him. Triple H goes to hit Jim Ross with a chair, but a bunch of referees stop it. This move here is just a way to make Austin more furious. It's a way to get Triple H over as a heel and attacking poor innocent Jim Ross. Next up, we have Intercontinental Champion Jeff Jarrett with Miss Kitty teaming up with WWF Women's Champion Ivory to take on Mae Young and the fabulous Moolah. Kitty attacks Mae Young before the match, and Jeff Jarrett goes on commentary to let the women fight. During the match, Moolah slams Miss Kitty in the corner and rolls her up to get a pinfall victory for herself and Mae Young. After Ivory attacks Mae Young on the floor, Kitty yells at Jeff Jarrett, so Jeff Jarrett applies a figure 4 on her. No woman is safe near Jeff Jarrett. We get a shot from GTV showing Droz puking in D'Lo's bag. Could be wrong about this, but I think the next night when they tape SmackDown is the night that he gets injured, paralyzing him. Mankind comes out to promote his new TV show. Mankind says, I don't like having my testicles grabbed by another man. So, Val, you get one free squeeze, but consider yourself warned. The Rock comes out. Rock talks about Mankind losing everything, and now Mankind wants to end the Rock and Sock connection. Rock says, I never wanted the Rock and section to begin with. Mankind says, I know you didn't want us to end. I looked at the man in the mirror. I'm going to rededicate my life and career to our tag team. After 15 years in this business, I won't be known as one half. The Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast by the Bull and the Chyna Shop, which is my boyfriend who tends to shop everything, like Mankind. Perfect explanation. Mankind says, I want to be remembered as being one half of the greatest tag team in the WWF. I feel almost like we are married. Rock says, are you asking me for my hand? I don't want your poontang. Mankind says, I don't have any poontang to offer you. He says, I don't want us to break up. I want to be like the Three Musketeers. Rock says, I can take you, Sacco, Rocco, the Three Musketeers, light you all up, take one sword, shine it up real nice, and turn it sideways. And then Chris Jericho comes out interrupting The Rock. Jericho says, welcome to Raw Is Jericho. I was listening to this unfunny display and came to a conclusion, Rock, maybe you should accept the proposal from this retard. And I think you would make the woman in the male and male relationship. Unite yourselves. Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth. You think you impress me and fight down because you fight down south some guy named Hoovy. Now you come on my show and interrupt me. for a second time. Tonight, I got a gift for you. You will come to the ring and go one-on-one with the Great One. You are 20 minutes away from getting, and Mankind completes The Rock's catchphrases. This is good at continuing of a storyline. Chris Jericho was interrupted The Rock his first night. It's good to see Jericho continuing to be an asshole with The Rock, and this is going to be a good match. Funny stuff with Mankind and The Rock. I always enjoy that. Poor Mankind gets attacked backstage by the Dudley Boyz along with Stevie Richards. The Dudleys attack them with trash cans. Next, we have the British Bulldog taking on Chyna. During the match, Jarrett runs out and hits Chyna in the back with a coffee urn. After the British Bulldog grabs the mic, Bulldog says, "I told you I'd kick your ass, and that's what I did. Triple H, I'm giving you 10 seconds to give me my shot, or I will slam her ass in the mat." He counts to 4, and then the Bulldog hits Chyna with a power slam. British Bulldog and Jeff Jarrett sending a message here tonight on Raw. Next up, we have a hardcore match, Mankind and Stevie Richards versus the Dudley Boyz. Stevie is dressed up as Dude Love. Jim Ross comes back out on commentary. Val Venus joins commentary and takes out Mr. Rocco from his pants. Mankind attacks Val Venus on the stage. And then the end comes when Mankind puts Socko on Val, and the Dudley Boyz hit a 3D to Stevie Richards. After the Dudley Boyz attack Mankind, but Mankind lands a double DDT. This is good stuff. I like how all these wrestlers are having a moment to shine. They're all getting involved. I just hope we get some kind of reunion between Mankind, Rocco, and Socko here. Vince McMahon then comes out. Vince says, "Bulldog, all I want you to do is apologize to the lady you bashed in the head with a metal trash container." Bulldog comes out. Bulldog says, "I'm not going to apologize for something that's your fault." Vince says, "Let me be an apology out of you. Come to the ring." And Bulldog says, "Lucky for you, I'm taking the night off," and he leaves. It's funny that the British Bulldog is backing down from Vince McMahon, but they have this whole gimmick that with you fucking with McMahon family, Vince is going to beat your ass. We've made it to our main event, The Rock taking on Chris Jericho with Mr. Huge by his side. This is a great match. We know that in 2001, 2002, these two are going to have a rivalry. So it's cool to see them start it off in 99. A lot of back and forth action here. They fight in the crowd. Chris Jericho hits The Rock with a ring bell and gets a 2 count. Rock hits a DDT and gets a 2. Chris Hughes pulls the referee out to the floor. Lights go off and on again. Jericho tosses a chair into the ring, but The Rock hits a rock bottom on top of the chair and hits Jericho with a people's elbow to get the 3 count victory. After the British Bulldog attacks The Rock, Rock fights back, and then Chris Jericho shoves Chris Hughes on the floor. A bunch of referees separate The Rock and the British Bulldog, and they go at it. And Bulldog leaves, but then Vince McMahon comes out and tosses Bulldog into the ring. Rock stomps Bulldog and lands a low blow. It's funny seeing Vince McMahon get involved in all of this. We have a lot of intertwining storylines happening here. Jericho fighting with Curtis. Vince McMahon attacking Bulldog. Bulldog trying to attack The Rock, but The Rock gets
I heard Vince McMahon used to get involved in a lot of it.
Yeah, with dildos and a lot of other weird stuff. So this is a good episode of Raw. I like that we're heading towards No Mercy. Every character has a lot of good stuff going on, and I'm excited to cover our next episode, which will be Friday Night SmackDown from my birthday, October 7th in 1999. So stay tuned. If you like what you're hearing, give us a like and hit the subscription and check us out on Spotify.
If you don't, we got 2 words.
Suck it. Yes, you do. So until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.